Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of ASEA Live. We're tuning in from ASEA HQ, and today we're meeting with a very special guest all the way from Norway. We're here with Triple Diamond Sissel Anderson. Sissel's a member of the Global Advisory Council. She's a Triple Diamond, and she's also part of the $1 Million Club. So we're really excited to have here today. Sissel, how are you?
Thank you. I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's so good to see you.
Thank you. The same.
So I would just love to know, you have so many amazing accomplishments with ASEA. How did you get started with ASEA? How did you start with ASEA products?
Well, actually, it was some before and after pictures that I saw on Facebook that got me really curious.
Oh, okay.
So to be honest, I was approached a few years before. I saw these pictures before and after on Facebook, but I was not interested at that time. I really didn't get it. But when I saw these before and after pictures, I thought, okay, if only half of what I saw was true, this was something for me. And this was in 2015. And I started to use Renew 28. And after a few weeks, my colleagues at that time started to comment that they were wondering what I had done. And I told them, and everybody wanted to know more about this. And, you know, so that's how I started to use the gel. But very, very quickly, I also started to use the drink version of the molecules because I've always been very health concerned. I think it's really important to prevent and maintain instead of having to repair like we do with our cars. You know, we set them into maintenance, and I would like to do the same with my body. So that's what I thought about, and I have never regretted after.
So I'm curious, how did you get started with the business aspect once you had used the products and realized that you really enjoyed using them?
Well, I was at the situation at my work. So just to tell you, I've been an entrepreneur since 1987. That's when I started my very first business. And when I met ASEA and I saw these products, the pictures on Facebook, I was, for the first time in many, many years, I was employed. And I was working as a marketing manager, and I thought I was okay, but I came in a situation at work where I was not very happy. And when I took myself in, the first thing I thought about in the morning and the last thing I thought about in the evening was ASEA. And I really wanted to do this full time instead of just as a side hustle. I just decided to do this business fully. I jumped in with both feet and I resigned my job and I started full time since September 1st in 2015. So actually I've been in the business for more than 6 years now.
That's amazing. And we're so glad to have you. Something that I noticed is you have a really amazing social media presence. Could you tell us a little bit about how you use your business through social media?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's actually very new. I started to use Instagram only in May. And it was after the Ascent training we had here in Europe, where one of the keynote speakers were social media trainer from UK. And I contacted him and asked if he wanted to be my mentor and help me get started. And I did. And he told me very quickly that this is a long-term thing to do. So you cannot expect big changes overnight. But now after a few months, I see that people are starting to follow me. I start to attract the right kind of people. And so to be honest, right now, I haven't any big results yet on the social media platform, but I know I'm going in the right direction with that. So I'm happy with it right now.
Yeah, social is definitely one of those things. It takes time, but always is worth it. So from when you first started with your business, what has changed?
So, you know, in the beginning, when I started, I was working a full-time job as a marketing manager, and it was not an 8 to 4 job, it was even more. So I had to put in, I started with pockets of time. I got up a little bit earlier in the morning than I had to. I spent some of my lunch break on the phone talking with people, and I spent some time in the evenings as well, and of course also took advantage of the weekends. So when I discovered that this was the first thing I thought about and the last thing I thought about when I got up and when I got to bed, I just needed to do this full time. And that's when I resigned and started to do this full time. And now I have the time freedom. So, you know, I still do a lot of the same things because I'm leading from the front. So I am also doing recruiting new people and having the weekly meetings and having my newsletters and things like that. But I'm so much freer today because I can decide when I want to work. So for instance, today I spent the whole day together with my youngest grandson, who is soon to be 1 year. And I had the opportunity. If I was working in a normal job when I was employed, I couldn't have done that because then I had to be at work from 9 to 5, you know. But now today I have time freedom, and I really, really appreciate that. But the job I'm doing is still the same. My passion is to help people, and I can help them with this business, both the technology and also the opportunity. So my job is sort of the same, but maybe on another level. And yeah, you know, in the beginning, I only had people in Norway and maybe a few other countries, but now I have people in all markets. So it's different now than it was.
And you mentioned that you started with a mentor. Do you want to tell us a little bit about having a mentor and if you would recommend that?
Yes, I think it's three things that is really important that you decide on as soon as possible. It's of course to have a why. We all hear you need to have your why, and I also think it's important to not sell but try to help. Most people have a problem somehow, and we can help them maybe ease that problem. And then the last thing is to have a mentor, as a coach that you can follow. And in the beginning, I was very fortunate. I knew Trish Winkler from a former business many years ago, so I was talking to her quite frequently. And now I have a mentor with my social platform. It doesn't actually have anything to do with the ASEA business, but it's my performance, and he's going to help me to attract the right business builders because there are so many out there. I just want to be have them find me, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were to give advice to an associate who's just starting out with ASEA, what would you say to them?
Well, of course, it is important to have the mentor, the coach, sorry, um, and follow already existing plan and plug into that, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel, it's already there. And then also to have some speed. This business likes speed. It's much better to talk with consistently a few persons all the time, instead of having a big chunk now and then take a long break and then have another big chunk. So consistency and speed is what this business really thrive from, is my opinion. And of course, weekly consultations with your mentor or your trainer or whatever, somebody who has done the job before you and who knows where to go and can advise you in a good way.
I love that. Thank you. I do want to ask you about events because you mentioned Ascent. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your experience at ASEA events?
Yes, I can do that. It's absolutely amazing. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And I know that you just have had a absolutely amazing event in Nashville. I attended on the virtual platform, and I'm very grateful that you made that available for us. But events are so important, and you should bring the whole team, or at least as many as possible, because you see the bigger picture, you learn from the best ones, you also have the social thing. So it's like blood in your veins. It's really something I'm always looking forward to. It's you go home and you know you are at the right place at the right time, and it gives you so much if you take advantage, of course. Don't just go there and be there, but also participate, talk with people, connect with the people you've seen online and seen done great performance. Ask them, pick their brains. So for me, events is really, really important, and I try to attend all the events, even in North America. And even if I'm in Europe, I would like to go to the North American events as well, you know, but right now we couldn't do that. So yeah.
Yeah, in the future, we would love to have you. Like you said, it's so fun getting to meet people that you've only spoke to virtually. So I hope someday that you and I can even meet and connect in person. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Sissel, I really appreciate all of your time and all of your advice. I love that you talked to us about mentors and that you talked to us about having passion about the products and wanting to help people and having a why. I think it's really important as well. It's been a pleasure speaking with you and seeing you today, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Please give us all your comments below. Let us know where you're tuning in from. What did you enjoy about this interview? Let us know if you have any more questions for Sissel. And don't forget, in only 6 months from now, we have our next event coming up, our global event in Las Vegas, April 2022. You don't want to miss it. So head to the VO, check out all the details there. And thanks again for tuning in.